Yesterday, we were making the point how the happiness in devotional service can be considered to be the greatest of all, the highest of all, the loftiest of all. Now, devotional service, the efficacy of devotional service is understood and realized by experience. To be able to understand the fragrance or the flavor of pure devotional service, that's only possible when we experience or taste it. So as a sadhaka starts tasting the sweetness of pure devotional service, we will see, as Srila Prabhupada is highlighting in the explanation in the purport, that a little bit experience of pure devotional service is good enough to overthrow all other experiences. Or it's good enough to shadow, belittle all other experiences. So how that gets reflected is in the form of increased dependence on the activities of your devotional service. As a sadhaka grows, he starts becoming increasingly dependent on the activities of pure devotional service. So one feels empty, one feels dreary, one feels void, one feels hungry, one feels weak, one feels emaciated, without engaging himself in the activities of pure devotional service on a daily regularity. That's dependence. So only when one gets that, get to engage, and then get to have that absorbing engagement in the particular limbs of devotional service. Until that moment, one feels very empty, very weak, very emaciated. So this is dependence. And this dependence is being developed simply by practice and exposure. Simply by practice and exposure to the activities of Krishna consciousness, a sadhaka starts feeling dependent, and that's a very healthy sign. Like one feels there is something very drastically missing because it's not heard the Bhagavatam class. There's something very drastically missing, or one feels that there's something very drastically missing because it's not heard from, or not read enough Prabhupada books half an hour. But the rounds are still remaining. I mean, it's not normal, and the rounds have to end. Then the normal thing starts. It's like the round, the basic minimum rounds have to end. That's the point. So this sort of cultivation or this sort of dependence is a very healthy signal, actually. That means that our directional vectorial proclivities are stationed or projected in rightly. And you see, this dependence comes about because this dependence comes about because of the simple fact that the happiness in devotional service is much more than the happiness at other places. That's why when one tastes pure devotional service, then one hankers for that taste again and again. And one is ready to pay the price for that again and again. That is the point. So therefore, one of the recipes to be steady in devotional service is to allow oneself to have a full-on experience of Krishna consciousness. That's why devotional service should not be practiced sluggishly, because a sluggish experience is a shadow experience. And it won't have much punch. Like sometimes in cooking, so devotees or people in general, sometimes suppose they make a very exquisitely delicious cuisine, and then they say, okay, this cuisine is best served hot. So if it is not hot, it may look like very messy. Look, taste, texture, appeal, everything will be going to be very messy and very, miserable types. Or sometimes something has to be served with a particular kind of juice or drink or without it, it appears like if Upma Prasad is there, just Upma Prasad will not have appeal. Very difficult, very difficult, like that. But if the Rasam Prasad is very good and punching, then Upma takes on that flavor, like that. But suppose along with Upma Prasad there is pineapple juice, it will be very difficult, like that. The point is that the just like in a medicine, a prescription has to be followed. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, the prescription has to be followed, actually. Therefore, practice means enthusiastic practice. Practice means enthusiastic practice. Therefore, a sadhaka should practice plunging oneself into the vibrations of, into the rhythm of the limbs of pure devotional service completely. Because that is the taste, and that taste will bring one again and again back to Krishna consciousness, or that taste will actually surface up again and again into this hankering, which actually is dependence. which actually is a dependency. We are talking about that depending on the activities of devotional. So one understands the devotional service, the limbs of devotional service, the Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smara, the service, the mission. This is Sanjeevani for me. I don't have it. So the point is, we are all like acute asthma patients. And just like in acute asthma, every now and then the respiratory tract becomes congested and becomes very difficult to breathe. Because very difficult to breathe, and that is very choking. I've seen some devotees, it becomes very choking, like that, and so that so that liquid, what do you call that? So inhaler. So that liquid inhaler is very important. I mean, because because that is not there, then one one is actually reduced to a position where he cannot experience only anything. So it is not that material nature is just giving flickering happiness. But okay, at least one is getting a transient happiness in the material world. At least something is coming, some little bit, some transient, some not temporary. Material world makes a person into acute asthma patient. So one is not in a position only to experience anything. What to say of eternal even transient, like that. That's exactly how it is actually. That is how exactly it is. So the senses are on sabotage. The senses are actually on that sabotage. You see, the whole point is that one is in spite of even temporary sense gratification objects, a person is not in a position to even at least even touch them. That's what material nature does. That's what our senses and mind do to us. You see, that's the point. Just like you see stress. Nowadays, everybody gets stressed out. Everybody is stressed out, is it not? Somebody is CEO of a company is also stressed out. Chapadasi is also stressed out. Hey, itna kaam, promotion nahi mil raha. He's also stressed out. Every single person is stressed out. So we had gone to Narayangarh on the outskirts of Chandigarh, and Devohuti has one friend. His name is so he's a psychiatrist. So he's opened a big clinic there, and our first doubt was that this is not even a city. It's an outskirt. It's like KDP, It's like KDP. So an IIT is also not there in Narayangarh. There's no IIT. At least here we have IIT. At least you can feel that you have something, There is railways here. There is Kalaikunda here, So one can have some sense of, okay, we are somewhere which has something around. Narayangarh, nothing around, like that. Very miserable. And like that. So the point is, only people's false ego is soaring high in two-story, three-story building, like that. So other than that, nothing is there. So we the question and doubt when we had met him was that, Arey, your shop, how is your shop successful here? So if one puts a shop in Calcutta, we can understand. Okay, Calcutta, people are stressed out. The metro city, people are stressed out. So he goes in mainstream Chandigarh, stressed out. 100 kilometers from Chandigarh, what is he doing? Sitting in some suburban areas like that. Now, but he is doing very good. He was saying he's earning some 3 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs a month. Huh? Oh, that's beginning of his career. He said, I'm just beginning, like that, So, so, so he's earning 2 lakhs. He's saying good, and so you see, even in a suburban place where there are, many of them are not very, it's a semi-rural, semi-urban, setting. Even there is doing very good business. That means people are stressed out even there, is it not? And uh, and he was uh, so, and he was sharing. Many people feel that, So he was telling, I'm just waiting for my, little hairs to, become little white, because because people value that a lot. Sometimes people feel that, oh, ये है क्या, ये तो बच्चा है. They feel, अरे ये है डॉक्टर, oh, ये ट्रीट करेगा. So he was sharing. Sometimes people feel, अरे हम तो कुछ और सोच के ऐसे डॉक्टर साहब के पास जा रहे हैं. Like that. Then still he's making 2 lakhs, like that. So the point is, people are so stressed out, even in a rural area, That's the point. So the point is, material nature makes a person into completely paralyzed state, actually. Therefore, Krishna consciousness, so Krishna consciousness is that Sanjeevani, actually. That's why that's why we see that after an enthusiastic experience of the limbs of Krishna consciousness and a regular practice of the limbs of Krishna consciousness, the limbs of devotional service, a sadhaka starts realizing that actually material happiness is not just transient happiness. Material happiness is a venom in disguise. It's not just transient. It's not just transient happiness. It's a venom in disguise. So the perversion of Shanagati or dependence is called as addiction. That's how, the Shanagati or dependence on the Lord, the perversion of that towards the material affairs, that's addiction. And this addiction is a very deadly disease. So as a sadhaka, as a sadhaka, it is very important for us to remain on the platform that we are. See, a healthy platform for a sadhaka is to remain on the ground that one is excited about Krishna consciousness. There has to be this disposition of excitement. And you will see excitement see, enthusiasm, which Rupa Goswami speaks about in Nectar of Instruction first, is more condensed. Excitement is a little more beginning stages. I'm excited about it. Okay, this is coming up. It's going to be wonderful. And let's dive into it. So that kind of excitement is a very healthy disposition. And similarly, you see, the point is the feeling of saturation or complacency is a very grave warning signal that we are on a wrong trajectory. We're in a wrong trajectory. So there has to be this state of excitement, actually. Krishna consciousness is such a wonderful process. Krishna consciousness has the potency of that's what you see. Prabhupada speaks in the introduction to the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. That Srimad Bhagavatam is so powerful that uh, a devotee, a practicing devotee, is dragged towards perfection. Is dragged towards perfection. So this dragging force works the best when we don't put resistance from our side. When we don't put unnecessary hooks from our side. So you see, there is this positive dragging force, which is in a very congenial way, it's taking us towards Krishna. Now, so in a very congenial way, it is taking this dragging force is taking us towards Krishna. And now, if we have some hooks, or if you offer some resistance, what's happening? This force is there, and we have offered some resistance. By simple laws of dynamics, what is going to happen is a great amount of stress will develop. Right? A great amount of stress will develop. Is it not? Strain, stress, strain. Strain they call it as, right? Huh? Strain. Strain leads to stress. It's a strain. It's a push-up situation. It's a strain, like that. And that strain leads to stress. And and the stress is very deadly because the stress is going to bend the beams and what do you call it as dislocate the trusses and so on and so forth. Is it not? It creates a bend, it creates cracks, and that leads to collapse actually. So the problem is material hooks. The problem is stubbornness. So it's simple, no? I mean, it's simple actually. There's going to be a problem, like that. We're on a vehicle, we catch hold of a pole, what's going to happen, it's going to be a very miserable situation actually. So Krishna consciousness, you see, many times, you see Krishna consciousness, therefore Krishna consciousness itself has that effect that once having struggled to situate ourselves in that fire of the activities of devotional service, those activities will take us forward. Those activities will take us forward. Only when we add in extraneous resistance and stubbornness, and then we explicitly hook ourselves here and there, then there is a strain and stress in our lives actually. And we will see most of the things in Krishna consciousness are caught, most of the things in Krishna consciousness are caught. So excitement is caught in Krishna consciousness. So we see that the program of Krishna consciousness is so enlivening that there is actually devotional service means there should be a festival every day. There should be a festival every day we are looking forward to. There should be a powerful service which we are looking forward to every single day for the mission of the Lord, for the pleasure of the Acharyas, for the glorification of the Lord, for the service of the deity, for the service of the Vaishnavas. We're looking forward to that. And that's a healthy state actually for a devotee. That is a healthy state for a devotee. So this goes to show that the moment we feel a little tired, a little weary, a little saturated, a little complacent, we should take it as a strong signal. Now let me a little bit work hard on myself. It seems that there is some resistance, there are some hooks, there is some unnecessary infatuation which has created some hook here and there. Let me unhook myself. Let me take some association. Let me put some efforts towards the execution of the limbs of devotional service. Before it becomes solidified and rigid, let me work on it and erode it off. So that's why sincerity necessitates alertness. Sincerity necessitates alertness. So this is the point. Just like, suppose even in, it's like say in the temple, like say in a temple, even if it is a very grand festival is going on, very grand feast is going on, and very grand festival is going on, but somebody is coming to the temple, he needs to have some sense to really be able to find out, where is the prasadam. Is it not? So one needs to be able to find out. Suppose if one is just doing parikrama of the gift stall, he won't get the prasad. He needs to know where is prasadam hall. Is it not? He needs to know where is prasadam. One should be on the lookout actually. That where is that nourishment which is coming from me? Where is that nourishment which is coming from me? So many times, a visitor may just come and go back, not get anything. Is it not? It's possible, Everybody in the temple is enjoying, but somebody doesn't know. He may just go and go back dry. Obviously, there's nothing dry. He's taking the darshan of the Lord, or at least devotees, and he's heard somebody chanting at least. Some benefit is there, but the point is, one could have had a greater benefit. Therefore, alertness is very much required. Alertness and attentiveness is very much required. Devotional service. So, then one can have a full-on experience. So, devotional service, we see the fellowship of devotional service, we get unimaginable blessings. But the point is that if we are not attentive, we have not got it. Is it not? We are not attentive, we have not got it. And then it's distributed. Is it not? We didn't catch it, It's like that, if you didn't catch it, it goes, right. Didn't catch it, then we lose it. Is it not? So, and then one is feeling now that okay, things are lacking. So actually, Krishna consciousness is the highest experience, and we have to understand that let me allow myself to fully experience the full wave of devotional service. Let there be no contaminations. Let there be no. So therefore, you see, especially occasions which are where we can get a lot of nourishment, one should very heavily prepare for it. Is it not? Like say, for example, festivals. One should prepare from beforehand. Is it not? It's not enough to be just present for 2 hours in a festival. Why only 2 hours? One should be whole day, doing services and. So that's the point, actually. Similarly, preaching, we are looking forward. It's like okay, let me taste it fully. Let me make myself completely available for it. For whatever it necessitates to be available for all aspects of it, to be available for. Then one can actually then one is making his own devotional service very easy, because so that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Simply by making ourselves available, the process starts working. We start moving. The process will drag us. Simply making ourselves available. That's the point. This doesn't happen in the material world, but it happens in Krishna consciousness like that. Is it not? If we simply make ourselves available, you see, the limbs of devotional service themselves will give us the experience. Because we are available and attentive. That's it. We are available, we are attentive. Immediately we will see, we'll get absorbed. Available, attentive, we'll get absorbed. No extraneous stretch or no extraneous hard work is required. No result expectation, no performance expectation is required. That's not the case outside. It's just like saying that okay, if you just go and sit in the company, everything will come. Does it happen like that? It doesn't happen like that. You cannot just go and sit in the company. Nobody wants to. Look at our face. They want to see the results. Is it not? No. So you just don't have to. One doesn't have to just go to the company and sit. One has to slog there. Ugh, is it not? And do overtimes and time over time, uh, uh, you lose all sense of time, like that. And that's how one has to work. And then people say, okay, it seems that he's an average candidate, like that. Fine, that way. So this is the point. But devotional service is not like that. Devotional service, if we start, uh, so you will see always. Therefore, you will see the resistance is not while we are in the practice of devotional service. We only have to stretch and fight with the resistance, whether internal or external. We only have to fight with the resistance before we are into that activity. Like you see in our students many times, when you say, okay, there is a camp, there is a yatra, yatra, haribol, and the student will be, and then you go to him and say, my dear Prabhu, you are coming, na? Prabhu, no, what happened? I have assignment, I have this, I have that. That you have thrown to semester, no? Is it not? So there is resistance. Then you have to coax them, convince them, no problem, you can, this way, that way, And so, like that, he may not mind chit chatting, 5 hours, sitting in the temple hall also, the devotee, But the moment you say camp yatra, immediately, it's all studies, all assignments, all job, preparation, IAS preparation, everything comes in his mind, like that. So, so you see, but the same person somehow or the other, you push, pull, stretch, squeeze, whatever do with him, and take him and throw him in the camp for yatra, there he won't find problem. Just by being available. The many times people say, oh Prabhu, they have this realization, that oh Prabhu, I was not wanting to come and all this fellow, he forced me to come, literally dragged me, stretched me, squeezed me, and dumped me here, like that. But I'm really relishing what I'm getting, That's the point.